What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Fightful.com podcast, October 27th edition. We are joined by Sir Matthew Riddle and some screaming children. Matt, what are you doing?
You know, the kids go wild. And sometimes,
I see what you're doing here.
And sometimes, bro, you just gotta regulate. And
you're putting yourself over.
You know, and yeah, so sometimes kids scream. You know, that's why you have your cousin come over and wrangle them when you do your Thursday podcast. You know,
needless to say, I don't think your kids know what's up with 213.
They have no idea. They don't even know what's up with bro. They have no idea.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of news this week, Matt. You're involved in a little bit of it, too.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. This FloSlam thing. When did you first hear about it?
I know things. I've probably known about this arrangement going on for a couple weeks now, maybe a month. And yeah, you know, there's a lot on the table, and this deal got signed, and everything seems to be good. The numbers seem to be really good, and it seems like, you know, we're just going to help each other out, and we got a lot of content, and yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on, you know, so it's good. It's good for business.
There are a ton of moving parts with the situation. Flow Sports is not like a new company or anything. They've been around forever, and I had someone say to me, well, Sean, this is a niche product. How will they stay afloat? Well, they're a little bit different because they attack every niche product, not just one. They attack every niche product to the level to where it's not niche anymore because they have every freaking niche. I was at a show I was at an MMA show, not last Saturday, the Saturday before that, and Flow Sports was broadcasting it. Here's a blast from the past. Junie Browning was on the show.
Really? How did he do?
He won.
Ooh, he's making a comeback.
I wouldn't count on that. There was a show I was at in 2009. This was really at the beginning of his downfall. And he missed weight by like 4 pounds. And his opponent and he got on the scale smoking a cigarette. And his opponent said, give me $100 out of your pocket and we'll call it even. And he did. They called it even. Would you ever do that in a fight, Matt?
I don't know. I don't want to be – I'd never want to put myself in a situation where I'm fighting somebody that's going to miss weight by 5 pounds and smoke a cigarette and be that unprofessional. I really hope I never end up in a situation like that. But, I mean, if I did – I hope I'm not fighting for that little where $100 is like 20% of his purse. So,
well, I hope you never face James Ellsworth because that's a serious size disadvantage you're facing there.
Who's James Ellsworth? Oh, James Ellsworth, yeah.
Of course.
Well, it's hard to knock him out. He has no chin.
That's true. My wife sent me a text while I was covering SmackDown the other night and said, how the hell did he grow a beard without a chin? It's a wonder. That's the 10th wonder of the world. If China was the 9th, that's the 10th wonder of the world.
James Ellsworth is definitely one of the wonders of the world for sure.
He is.
I wonder if it's hereditary. I wonder if his like grandpappy has no chin or if his grandma has no chin. I would love to see a family lineage of no chins.
They have got to do that.
They should.
Like, do a family reunion on SmackDown in his hometown, which I think is like Virginia or something. He's from Virginia. But either way,
sounds good.
FloSlam it's pretty big news. They have Evolve. They have the back catalog of Evolve, which heavily features Matt Riddle, of course. But moving forward, their subscription service will also house all of those Evolve shows. What do you think of that move?
I think it's a great move. You know, like you said, Flow Sports kind of covers every niche. And I was on there the other day. They cover gymnastics, rock climbing, CrossFit, marching band. They cover everything and anything. But you know, I think it's great. I see Flow Sports and Flow Wrestling and all that all the time because I'm already in the world of mixed martial arts and wrestling. So just to know that I'm going to be part of that, product kind of makes me happy because it's a quality product,
They need to get you in some crossover. Matt Riddle on Flow Rodeo.
Flow Rodeo, I don't know about that.
Maybe Flow KO.
Well,
that's
you know
video
what? Flow
game
Rodeo would probably be a good time. I could ride a bull, like maybe like a small one.
A small one.
Maybe like a 300-pounder or something. I don't know if they run that small.
You could maybe appear on Flow Grappling, Flow Combat.
Flow Grappling for sure. That's the easy.
Flow Wrestling, of course, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, Flow Wrestling. I could do something there. Shoot a single.
Flow Gymnastics. I bet you could do that.
I know. I bet my wife could. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do some flips, so they're not as textbook as a perfectionist, gymnast. But yeah, they're good. They're good. They're hybrid.
What else we got? Flow KO. That's a gaming site. You could definitely do that.
Dude, Flow KO gaming site, like they got. I think there's a lot of opportunity working with Flow, and I think there's a lot of opportunity where we can work together and maybe cross over with other genres like you're talking about.
Listen, Flow KO. If you want to have me and Matt Riddle playing Turtles in Time,
dude, there's so many titles. I'll go back to Primal Rage. I can do Smash Bros. Mortal Kombat. I can do anything. Anything. Just throw it at me.
I hated Primal Rage. I hated it.
Oh, dude, I was actually playing that the other day. It's pretty legit on the 32X.
I felt like I was beating my pet when I played that game.
Oh no! Like you had a pet. You had a pet monkey or dinosaur.
No, they throw shit at you. I'm pretty sure monkeys do.
Yeah. Well, I think the one character farted at you and pissed on you. So
yeah, that's true.
Chaos.
I've had a cat piss on me before. That was not fun.
I've had a seagull poop on me. Things happen in life for sure. At the boardwalk.
There was one time Cyndi Lauper was singing in New York and she hit a high note and a bird shit right in her mouth.
Dude, that's how you know what? I felt the same way when a buttertooth Brit spit in my face.
Hey,
in England. So yeah.
Oh, that had to be terrible.
It was horrible. All sucked out, cutting weight, miserable in England, in Manchester.
With all due respect to our British viewers,
of course,
not exactly known for their oral health.
Yeah, I love the English. I really do. I think people think I dislike them, but I do not. It was just that one day in Manchester, they were quite unfriendly, and it was a memory I'll probably never forget. That's it.
What kind of reaction do you think you'll get when you go back there this year?
I think it'll be good. My wrestling name is pretty legit. I'm a decent performer. I'm a pretty good performer in the ring. So I think that, and I think, I don't know, I feel like I have a look where you either hate me or you really like me. And I think a lot more people like me than hate me, at least that I notice, at least the indie crowd.
So with this FloSlam thing, what was your reaction when you first heard the news?
When I first heard the news, I was like, well, I wanted to know more about it just because you don't know. I'm part of the WWN branch, so I want to know what's going on with my, I want to know what's going on with my future, my brand, my name, So to know, and then to know who I'm working with is good. And the thing is, I've been on top of everything for the most part. And I talked to Gabe, and I talked to Sal, and I talked to a lot of people that that run the show. So I kind of knew this was coming a while ago. So wasn't that big of a surprise, but I still wanted to know the finer details and see where my spot was in the future.
I'm really interested to see how all of this plays out because it is a property with Evolve. Evolve is, it is sort of counterculture. It is edgy. It is cool. It's like when Evolve is on, that's what's on my timeline on Twitter. And that's not always the case because all due respect to Bellator, I love Bellator, but when their fights are happening, that's not necessarily what's on my timeline. World Series of Fighting, that either. I'm very, very, very interested in Flow Sports. In FloSlam. I know some of the people there. They're really good people. They've got a great crew. They've got a lot of really, really interesting things going on there. And of course, as any news on that filters in, Matt and I will talk about it. Matt, what do you think of Shane Carwin signing with Ryzen?
I didn't know that happened. That's pretty cool. How's he doing? Has he fought in a while?
Well, he technically fought. Do you know who Jason Ellis is?
No.
I had a skateboarder, radio personality. He fought a couple times. Either way. He faced at like a charity event. He fought Shane with one arm tied. Like Shane had one arm tied and knocked him out cold. And apparently, this Jason Ellis told Brendan Schaub, like, yeah, I think I can wear him down. I'm gonna stick and move for the first couple rounds. Like, was seriously thinking he'd give Shane Carwin a run. And he goes, and then the third round, I'll give him his arm back. I'll let him have both of his arms. No, that didn't happen. Shane Carwin knocked him dead immediately.
Yeah.
Which is no surprise.
Yeah.
But
Shane Carwin,
the real story in this, Matt.
Shane Carwin might knock me out with one arm tied behind his back. It's Shane Carwin. He knocks people out.
He looks at people and knocks them out.
Yeah, he hits you with a 4-inch uppercut. You go to sleep. He's got some power.
I always said it was kind of it spoke a lot to Brock Lesnar's chin that he was able to stay awake for an entire round.
Brock Lesnar's a beast. Bottom line, that dude can eat damage and just keep going forward. He's a stud.
That's why a lot of people were like, "Well, he doesn't like to get hit." Well, I don't know a whole lot of people who do, but he can take a hell of a shot. He literally at WrestleMania, I don't think people understand. He was upside down and fell face first from about 10, 11 feet in the air. Then on instinct finished the match. But the real story in this Ryzen thing, well, he's in the tournament. That's cool. He said that Fedor turned down a fight with him.
Ooh, is that true?
From what I'm hearing, the people that I talk to, because we do have some people in Ryzen. On our payroll.
I heard
it was true.
If I was Fedor, I would probably not take that fight.
Did you see him get lit up by Fabio Maldonado earlier this year?
Yeah, Fabio's not horrible though. People, he's just not the most athletic guy, but he can go, and he has a chin.
He was a boxer,
and he's got some good boxing. Yes, yeah. But like Shane Carwin has they put you clean to sleep power. Then again, I feel like Shane Carwin, if you move around, that's not Fedor's style though. It's a bad matchup for Fedor at this point of his career. I think Fedor in his prime, that fight would have been money. It would have been two heavyweights just getting dropping each other left and right. But I think now it might just be Fedor getting dropped.
What does this tell you about Fedor? I mean, he rejected the UFC's deal, which I had heard was more than any deal that he was offered elsewhere. And now he's turning down Shane Carwin and Ryzen. I don't know. I don't want to say he's ducking anybody, but I mean, technically, he turned down a fight with Shane Carwin. What does this say to you about Fedor at this stage of his career?
He's smart. Some people might be like, oh, well, why not? It's like, well, why didn't the UFC make a deal with him 8 years ago or 6 years ago? When I was in the UFC, they could have made a deal with him 4 years ago. Yeah, they
didn't want to co-promote, but apparently that's out the window now, and they still offered him a bunch of money, and he was like, I'm good.
The thing is, he's made a lot of money. He can still get paid a lot of money to fight who he wants to fight. He's Fedor Emelianenko. He can fill a building like that. And it's like, what's he got to prove? All that's going to happen is he fights the top tier heavyweights of the world. He's going to get knocked out most likely. Not saying he can't beat some of them, but he's probably going to lose to most of them. Kind of like a Randy Couture situation. Randy Couture could, when he came back, could beat most of the UFC heavyweights. They weren't that good at wrestling, and, it was a thin weight class at the time. And then, once Brock came in and other people started coming in, like Nogueira and others, he couldn't hang anymore, And it's the same thing with Fedor, except for, the division's stacked, and he's a lot older. He's been fighting forever. He's been fighting since I was in high school.
Way back in rings, stuff like that.
He was winning. He was winning everything and was like the best of the best of the best when I was in high school 12 years ago as a senior.
Well, Carwin is in a tournament that also involves Mirko Krokop and Vanderlei Silva. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the end of the year.
I still can't believe Vanderlei Silva's fighting.
Yeah, he's going to fight Krokop.
All these guys are fighting. Krokop's fighting. This is ridiculous.
Do you like it or not?
You know, they can do it, but I feel like – you see, this is my problem with the UFC when I was there. It's like they wanted people to use TRT. They wanted people to do that because then they could have guys like Vanderlei and Krokop and everybody stick around and still be able to fight at their, top performance, because they're getting older. And it's like now it seems like everybody's left the UFC and they're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
all the people that need it are leaving and still doing it. Speaking of Antonio Bigfoot Silva, if there's one guy that you would say, Sean, who's one guy in the UFC who probably really needed TRT? Probably Bigfoot Silva. He's got friggin' acromegaly. He is leaving, or he left. He was released by the UFC, and he's fighting in Europe, and apparently he's getting paid $500,000 to fight there.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, here's the weird situation, Matt. Are you familiar with what happened with Jeff Monson there earlier this year?
Jeff Monson in Europe earlier this year?
So he had a torn bicep, and he was scheduled to fight. And he went over to this place. It's like Titov Boxing Promotions or something like that. And he had told them, hey, I can't fight. Well, they flew him over anyway, and they took him aside, and they said, listen, work this fight. There are no repercussions. You'll still get paid, whatever. He got in the cage. It was not a worked fight. He got the shit beat out of him. And now Bigfoot Silva is facing the guy that beat the shit out of him in the promotion that facilitated that. So a lot of people a little worried. But, I mean, if he goes in without any injuries, I don't see an issue.
Yeah, if there's no injuries, and the only thing is, though, I would say, just being me, I think it's a little suspicious that $500,000 payday on the regional circuit, but the only thing he really has to offer, because I don't think he'll sell $500,000 worth of pay-per-view buys or $500,000 worth of ticket sales live. So the only thing he has to offer is ranking to the guy he loses to.
Yes. I think the logical next step here, if you beat Jeff Monson and Bigfoot Silva, is putting this Russian guy against Bob Sapp. There is no athletic commission to answer to. I
know. There's no athletic commissions really anywhere other than America and Canada.
I mean, there is the Russian MMA Federation and stuff, but when you have, as we mentioned before, people who work for Fedor judging and refereeing his fights, kind of questionable. So I doubt they do a whole lot about a Bob Sapp or a Bigfoot Silva throwing a fight. I mean, they didn't do anything about Jeff Monson, I don't think.
Well, what can you do?
Well, I mean, here you can suspend them for life, but I mean,
yeah. Well, you can do
what
that.
Do they care?
Yeah. Well, if they have a sanctioning committee, they can also do that. And
they do, but I mean, I'd say some of these people don't give a shit if they ever fight in Russia again.
Yeah. Well, this is a big thing too. It's like any legit promotion knows, you don't want to fix any fights because once you start fixing fights, you lose credibility. And I don't know, I get it. People like to build people up. I remember Kimbo Slice and stuff like that, and they were building him up to be a superstar. And then he's still a superstar, but he lost a fight, and that really hurt his hype train, Mm-hmm. MMA is hard it's not pro wrestling. It's hard to build somebody up, They have to kind of do it on their own.
Well, sometimes WWE makes it look like it's really hard to build somebody up when it's not. Speaking of, Austin Aries got a nasty injury last night. He He got super kicked in the face. I'm about to show you this.
Yeah, show me the pic. I didn't see it.
Super kicked in the face by one Shinsuke Nakamura. Look at this.
What the F?
Yeah. Gross.
Why would he kick him in the face that hard?
He didn't kick him in the face that hard, to be honest. Well, it didn't look like it.
Bro.
That was nasty, right?
Bro. There's weight behind that. That's the thing. There's like weight behind that kick.
They stopped a main event tag match. Like, they didn't have Joe go it alone or anything. They stopped a main event tag match for that. They were like, no more. We're done.
Yeah, well, yeah. That was messed. Dude, people.
Good to see him in good spirits, though.
Yeah, well, what's he going to do? Yeah, be in good spirits. Don't bitch. If you bitch, you'll probably get fired or something.
Yeah.
You know, just, I got kicked in the face. I'm going to take a couple weeks off.
The Headbangers are returning to SmackDown next week.
Sweet. You know, I've worked with Mosh a little bit. Didn't wrestle him, but I worked with him at the Monster Factory. He's a good guy. I never worked with Thrasher, but he seems pretty legit.
They appeared in August as well. I think it's kind of cool that they bring back a couple of guys like that every so often. Why not? It helps out their indie bookings too, I'm sure.
I agree. I like it when they bring back guys like that because I feel like if, maybe the dad's watching with the kids and he's like, oh, Headbangers, all Dudley Boys, all, this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's cool. And plus, it's like almost like a history lesson for the kids or anybody else who's watching that doesn't know.
Guys, if you all haven't already checked it out, Brandon Howard has exclusive analysis on today's WWE Quarterly Call, including Vince McMahon saying WWE can sell for the right offer. Talking about
what?
With the right offer.
How much?
I'd say billions.
Damn it, I don't have billions.
Unfortunately, not yet. You don't.
No.
Maybe soon.
I don't think ever. I don't want billions. That's just reckless money.
You don't want billions? Should I take billions?
That's trouble. I'll take $1 million, maybe a couple million. That's more than enough for me. That's way too much even.
We also have updated network subscriber counts with Brandon's exclusive analysis. You won't have coverage like that anywhere else. So go check that out at Fightful.com. Kayla Harrison, Olympic gold medalist in judo, signs with World Series of Fighting. Now, I'm not surprised that she is fighting, but I'm surprised that World Series of Fighting was the company that got her.
Yeah, I'm surprised because I didn't even know World Series of Fighting was even having fights anymore. Yep. Are they?
Apparently, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, they've got this big.
When's the last time they had a fight card?
Well, they've had a few this year. They've got one planned for New Year's Eve.
Okay.
4 title fights on it. Yeah, it's December 31st at Madison Square Garden. They got like Justin Gaethje and Dave Branch. They got 4 title fights on that show. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that they do have a show coming up.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking. Maybe the thing is though, like, I'll be completely honest. Being an athlete myself, looking from the outside, whatever, being in the inside. It's not really good to sign a contract. Like, okay, as a fighter or an athlete, what do you get out of a contract? Like, oh, you got this.
Because they can cut you whenever.
Yeah, they can always cut you whenever because you're contracted. It's not like you get benefits or a weekly paycheck or anything like that. You get paid when you fight. And then on top of that, they can fire you at any time. And if they cancel cards or anything else, you can't usually work anywhere else because that's part of the contract. You're under contract with them. Or you can't fight on TV. And that's where any money is, or internet pay-per-view or anything because they know that's where money is. So it's like to sign anywhere unless you know you're going to stay active is like the worst damn thing you can do. And trust me, I know because I've done it. So it's like –
there was a fighter I knew. He was actually kind of clever with it. he would sign contracts under only certain circumstances, and one was when he knew a show wasn't going to happen. There was a promotion that was notorious for canceling cards, and he put in the contract that if the card was canceled, he would still get his show money. The card got canceled, he still got his show money, and that is literally the only time he signed a 2-fight deal, but it wasn't exclusive. And he ended up getting show money for both of those, and it counted as a fight for him. He didn't owe them another fight. Like, it was remarkable. But that's what happens on the Kentucky regional MMA circuit. There was a promotion out here one time, Matt, that flew in one of the Jersey Shore guys. I can't remember which one it was. Ronnie, maybe, paid him $30,000 to appear. I wouldn't pay him that much to fight.
I'll be honest, and I'm not knocking it. I've been flown into the South a couple times, and I've been paid quite handsomely for my time. And it's, especially in the MMA community, I feel like the MMA community, I think it's because they'll throw the amateur fights and they don't have to pay any of the fighters. They'll give them, they'll comp a couple meals and give them a couple beers, which is
they'll do the
sweet.
Old ticket thing, where you get a percentage of tickets.
But I think those guys make a good racket, and then they invite people they just want to see and meet. So hey, I want to meet Ronnie from the Jersey Shore. Wow. He likes fights. It's probably what happened.
Wow.
Dude.
By the way, World Series of Fighting had a show October 7th.
Oh, so I just missed it.
Yeah, I'm sure you were going to sit down and watch that one.
Yeah, well, didn't we talk about it? Did Dave Branch defend his title?
Dave Branch defended his title and won.
Yeah.
And Jason High fought on the card and lost.
Okay. I think I remember talking about Branch because he's a beast. Yeah,
Branch is really, really good. He's come a long way from getting spine bustered through the mat by Gerald Harris.
That he has. But, I feel like explosive wrestler might be his weakness. Gerald Harris was one of those guys that was he wasn't the best at jiu-jitsu, wasn't the best at striking. His wrestling was really good, and he was just really explosive and strong,
He's making a comeback.
Is he fighting again?
He's fighting in December, and I asked him if he was going to try to get – there's a rumored new season of The Ultimate Fighter. Gerald Harris is one of my favorite fighters to watch, but that is such a weird, interesting story because he won 3 fights, got cut after that horrible Mikel Falco fight, and he doesn't know why, but I've been told there was more to it. But he legitimately doesn't know why. He's offered to fight on short notice several times, and they'll instead hire complete unknowns to fight. It's real weird, the situation going on, but he's, I think, going to try to get on this All-Stars comeback season of The Ultimate Fighter that's rumored. And he's fighting in December for Legacy before they merge with RFA. So, yeah, he's making a comeback.
Good for him.
Last fought at World Series of Fighting 4. He beat Santiago. That's a pretty good win.
Gerald Harris is good. If I had to fight him in a couple weeks, I'd be I could possibly lose in a couple weeks. He's good. He's really good.
I did this feature on him, and I was doing it to launch Fightful.com, and it was this big feature how Gerald Harris kind of got screwed out of his job and stuff like that, and how he doesn't need MMA to be happy. Now I got to rewrite the whole goddamn story because he came back to MMA.
Well, I don't think he needs MMA to be happy. I think it's the same reason why I did MMA. I was in the UFC, and it was I already have such a good reputation, a big name in it. I can get money for fighting. To only work a couple times a year and make good money is really convenient. I go to the gym and punch stuff and kick stuff, and then get paid to do it in front of a camera. Yeah. It's
that dude has his toes. That dude has his toes in a little bit of everything too. I know he's a teacher. He runs a gym. He's a stand-up comedian. Yeah. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So
yeah, he's a teacher. He graduated from, I think, Ohio or something like that. Ohio State.
He wrestled with Stipe Miocic, actually.
See?
Cleveland State.
See, the guy's a stallion. There's a whole understory.
Best of luck to Gerald Harris, friend of the site. What about Cleveland? What is the curse is over, apparently. You got Stipe Miocic. You got the Cavs. The Indians are in the World Series. Even Dolph Ziggler and The Miz are doing well in WWE. What the hell is this?
Dude, they're just doing their
This isn't
thing.
the Cleveland we grew up on.
I think everything works in peaks and valleys, wavelengths up and down. And, Cleveland was down for a minute, deep wavelength. And now, like you said, they got the Indians, right?
Yeah.
And
Indians, the Cavs, Stipe. Got a lot going on.
they do. Yeah, they really do. They really do.
Have you been following this TNA shitstorm?
I heard something about our boy Bill suing Tracy. Is that her name, or Dixie?
You mean Dixie?
Dixie.
Yeah.
Dixie Carter.
He's suing.
Company.
Yeah. It's like there's so much. Apparently, Billy made several loans, to save TNA from foreclosure from their production company on multiple occasions this summer. They kept him in the dark about possibly negotiating with WWE, but not possibly, about flat out negotiating with WWE about the fight or the video library. They kept him in the dark about the Fight Network investing, which he says is a breach of the loan and contract and agreement that he had agreed to. Now TNA is saying that he knew what he was doing. He was doing this just so TNA would default and he would get the company as per the agreement. Now to that I say, why the hell wouldn't he? If he wants to control that company, why not do whatever's necessary? We spoke to a lawyer in Tennessee, however, in an exclusive report on Fightful.com. Go check it out. Exclusive. She says that there is a Tennessee code that says that he might not be entitled to shit, including the money that he loaned TNA.
Whoa.
Wouldn't that be terrible for Billy Corgan?
Yeah, it would. But that sounds like, the judicial system in America. There'd be some shitty law like that to just screw you out of your money, even though you have a contract signed and it's been approved by multiple lawyers and agreed upon.
Yeah, according to the law, you can't make a title pledge loan in the state of Tennessee without being registered, and Corgan isn't registered. Hot damn, that is straight duty. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty big deal, though,
Like, it would be TNA is. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. Like, they would not exist if not for Billy Corgan right now.
Yeah. And they're doing pretty bad, and they're doing poor business right now.
Are you interested in a Michael Bisping GSP fight, Matt?
Am I interested? Not really.
Michael Bisping says that he wants it, that GSP and UFC have been negotiating it. GSP says no, UFC says no, but I don't know why Michael Bisping would lie about something like this. I mean, what does he have to – well, I mean, he has a lot of money to gain from a GSP fight, but he doesn't have a lot to gain about lying from it.
Yeah, you know what, though? I feel like a lot of times people just do stuff, say stuff just to stay in the spotlight, And I think this is just another way of Michael Bisping kind of doing what Conor McGregor does or whatnot, what have you, just talking. That's all he's doing. He's just talking, stirring the pot.
Those damn British people.
They're always cutting promos. They're always cutting a promo. They love it.
We have a question. What is Matt's diet like?
Well, I actually got some food items here. So I got some Extreme Sour Patch Kids right there.
What makes them extreme?
They're extreme flavors. They're really good. They're better than the original. I got some Slim Jims here.
You are a cut like 220. How in the hell are you eating?
Oh, wait, hold on. Look at that strawberry banana smoothie.
Damn.
Yeah, 100% juice, brother. Not pasteurized.
So what do you have incredible metabolism, or is it just the amount that you work out? How do you manage that? What are those?
Bloody Mary peanuts.
Jesus.
So I got some snacks. I got a Sprite here.
Sprite is the only soda that actually refreshes me.
But I'll tell you this, what people don't realize is I'm actually on like wrestling mats. So like I'm always like wrestling around, stretching out, doing my thing. So I feel like just staying that limber. Plus I usually work out, so like I stay tight, I tan occasionally. I'm gonna do some. I got some jujitsu. I'm gonna teach later. So do my thing.
So is it a matter of staying active?
I think the biggest thing is just pushing yourself and working hard. If you literally push yourself every time you like work out or train, like till where you're like, holy shit, it's like you're gonna be shredded. That's just science. I feel like if you push yourself to the brink every time, you're gonna be like jacked and ripped. Right?
I'll ask you this to add to their question. As a pro wrestler, is it easier or more difficult to stay in shape than when you fought in MMA? Because there are a lot of differences. You're cutting weight, you're trying to watch your weight in MMA, but you're traveling with pro wrestling and you're at a much higher weight.
Yes. MMA, if you train properly for a fight, you're going to be in phenomenal shape just because like the amount of weight you have to cut and everything else. At least for me, like I was running like 3 to 5 miles like a day when I was getting ready for a fight. Now wrestling, I only run about once a week, maybe twice a week. But I do wrestle quite a bit. I'm still doing that. But, I'm lifting, wrestling, and maybe running once a week. While when I did MMA, I'd be doing jiu-jitsu every day. I'd either be sparring or hitting mitts every day. And I'd be running and lifting like every day. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing 3 workouts 6 days a week. Now I do like maybe like 8 to 10 workouts for the whole week.
What do you do when you're on the road? Do you just skip it, or do you find a gym locally?
I'm pretty lucky. I kind of skip it. I skip it, if I have a gym nearby, sure, but like, maybe I'll rip out like 500 push-ups or some sit-ups or something. But for like the most part, like usually like if you're traveling on the road, you're doing like a wrestling match. So usually before a wrestling match, you're stretching out, warming up, doing that thing. You're going over your match, going over the spots. You wrestle. Usually with me, it's like a 15 to 20-minute match or 10 to 20-minute match. So like you get a good amount of work in. And then like by the time you're done with that, you eat a little bit of food. Your adrenaline's still kind of going from the wrestling match. You watch some sleep, watch some TV, go to sleep, and that's it. Like I feel like I don't need to work out that much more, and I feel like if I ate a lot more food, I would, but like, I feel like I don't eat as much,
Just Sour Patch and Slim Jims.
Well, that's just what I have. This is, I have some snack food. I eat a lot of like ground turkey and rice, stuff like that. I drink V8. I got some V8 over there. So
regular V8 or the V8 Splash?
I do both, but right now I just have the normal V8 or low sodium V8.
This is what I drink right here.
Oh, hey, yeah, the Golden Peak tea. Get that sponsorship.
Yeah, I wish. As I told you, I wanted to kill my brain with aspartame.
Extreme Sour Patch Kids sponsorship, dog. Hook me up.
I wish. I would. Hey, people, get at us. It's happened before. I've promoted stuff and gotten like free chicken from restaurants that were like, hey, do you like our chicken? And I was like, what, me?
I love chicken.
Never know.
And I'll take a free piece of chicken from a courteous restaurant any day.
I would too. Yeah. I would too. So this story has resurfaced again. It surfaces every year or so. Joe Rogan almost fought Wesley Snipes in the
Again?
UFC. No, this is years ago.
Oh,
but
I remember.
he brought it up.
Yeah,
He didn't bring it up again. Eve Edwards asked him about it. Who do you think would have won that fight?
You know, I think Joe Rogan would probably win just because Joe Rogan does have the ground game experience. He does have striking experience, but like he actually like rolls with like high level people on the ground. So
he's
like,
a black belt.
Yeah, like his jiu-jitsu is probably pretty legit. I've never rolled with him or trained with him. You know, don't get me wrong. I know people that have black belts that aren't really black belts because they are who they are, you know. But I feel like he's probably one of the more legit, like, celebrity personalities with a black belt, right? I would like to think so.
Did you ever see that spinning back kick?
Yeah.
Like he threw and like caught GSP. That was impressive.
It was a hard spinning back kick. That was, you know.
Here's the real question. Who would win, CM Punk or Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes would probably smoke his ass.
Really?
Wesley Snipes has like the thing about like kung fu and like the martial arts he's trained, because I'm pretty sure he has like kung fu background or karate or hapki. Like he has a martial arts background. And
yeah, but he's 54.
Oh, that's true. Well, no, it's hard. If we're talking about Blade Trinity, Wesley Snipes, I give it to Wesley Snipes. But no, I don't know. Like I feel like skill wise, I think Wesley might have him. You know,
I think they would probably fight in the same weight class. Wesley Snipes is 5'9".
You know, this is the other thing too. Like I feel like CM Punk, you know, tough guy, good wrestler, this and that. But I feel like it was the thing why like I didn't think he was gonna do good at fighting. Period. Is like you really had to like be able to flip a switch and like go from like normal person to like sophisticated like killer. You know, like where you're like literally like, you know, waiting for your opportunity, bobbing and weaving, attacking. It's like it's pretty methodical, but you got to be dead serious and like take every second and every opportunity you get. And I never saw that in him. You know, Wesley Snipes,
I'll say this.
I've seen it in the movies.
I'll say this for CM Punk. In the amount, with the things that he fended off from Mickey Gall, James Toney probably would have submitted 3 or 4 times.
Oh, I agree. 100%. I'm not saying he did a horrible job. Mickey Gall is a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner. If like he gets on top of anybody in that position, it's going to be a rough day, you know. But at the same time, like he took. Like the fight was 1 round. He took you down, passed your guard, beat you up, choked you out, tap. Like there was no offense, there was no up kick, there was no like kicks, like no real punches from his back, no submission attempts or setups, nothing. Just there's a beat down.
Did I give you my pitch over who I want him to fight next? CM Punk?
Me, so I can make some easy money.
Well, that would be cool too.
I'll hit him with the bro to sleep, the DTS.
Oh,
have you seen that?
Played.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, of course I have.
Bro,
of course, it's ridiculous.
Money. Oh, it's great. It's hilarious.
I want him to fight Baby Slice, Kimbo's son, in Bellator.
I think you mentioned Baby Slice fighting somebody else, like Dada 5000's kid or something.
No, he was supposed to fight last week, and his opponent showed up his opponent was 25 pounds overweight and made it to 16 pounds overweight, and they canceled the fight.
How do these people get opportunities?
It's weird, isn't it?
No. When you think about it, it's not, because I don't know. The fight game's messed up. MMA is messed up. You think?
And it's come a long way.
It's come so far, but it's so fucked up still. With the fights you see going on that shouldn't be going on, and
Matt, I live in Kentucky, buddy. I watched 2 400-pound twin brothers fight each other in the main event. I watched 2 250-pound women do an MMA fight at a place called the Hot Dog Stand, which is perhaps the most appropriate thing possible.
Wow.
Oh, I've seen it all.
You've been places I haven't lived.
Hot Dog Stand,
you know, I've traveled the world fighting and wrestling, And in Kentucky, there's more to see than all around the world.
They let 250-pound women fight at a hot dog stand, but if you came here, you would have to get licensed as a pro wrestler before you took a bump. Man,
makes sense. Makes sense.
The world we live in. The White House wants to put a ban on no-compete clauses. This would obviously have a major effect on pro wrestling. What do you think about that?
I think they should just mind their business.
The White House?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think things are good right now. I feel like they shouldn't mess with it. You know? What would that apply? Like only one wrestler.
If they fired Paige right now, she could show up on TNA Impact tonight instead of 90 days later.
That sounds great.
Yeah, well, the White House wants to ban that. They want to ban no-compete clauses. They don't want to give the WWE the opportunity to keep people from working for 90 days. Now, granted, they do pay those people for those 90 days.
Well, if they pay you for the 90 days, it shouldn't be a problem. But if they release you and you work somewhere else and you're collecting a paycheck somewhere else, you should not be able to collect a check from, your previous employer.
Now, granted, this isn't targeted towards the WWE. It's targeted more towards like teachers who are taking like sales jobs and getting fired because they're looking to pick up extra money, and teachers are getting fired over that. I think that's a little much.
I think that's good. I don't think. Well, then again, it's complicated. You sign a contract. It says non-compete clause for 90 days or whatever, a year, 2 years, whatever. I know when the UFC fired a bunch of people, they had non-compete clauses that were like 5 years. Where like they literally couldn't work for World Series of Fighting or anywhere else for 5 years, and all they did for like 10 years before that was run the UFC.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? By the time you can work, you're going to be replaced.
Scott Coker had one when they bought Strikeforce. He had a non-compete. They kept him on the payroll. He had a non-compete, and then as soon as it was up, he started running Bellator. So, hot diggity damn. A little bit of boxing news. Vladimir Klitschko injured. Tyson Fury suspended. Is there any interest from you as like a casual fan of any heavyweight boxing in 2016? Is there anybody that sticks out? Because we grew up in a golden era of heavyweight boxing.
I think there's been this new dude, I can't think of his name, big black dude, wears a mask. I think he's from New Orleans.
Deontay Wilder?
I believe so. He's been on a hot streak. He just won a world title, I believe, right?
He's awesome. Yeah. I love Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, I see him. That guy's a stud. He's got a great right hand. He fights with, I feel like he fights to fight. He fights to finish. And a lot of people, especially in boxing, just fight to win. And I hate when people, everybody hates when somebody fights to win. Granted, if they're your guy that you want to win one thing, but it's like most people like a finisher. People like finishes, but it's risky to go for it.
Yeah, I'd love to see him fight Anthony Joshua. By the way, Kawajiri, released by the UFC, he signed with Ryzen as well. Probably a good move for Ryzen and Kawajiri.
Yeah. Hopefully Ryzen keeps picking up more and more talent like this and they build stars. Because that's the biggest thing that I hated about the UFC, and that's the problem they're running into. And like right now they do have 2 stars and they're making money and they're doing the thing. But the big thing is you have to like make new stars. You can't just rely on like the old names like the Vanderlei Silvas and so on and so forth. Or like when Conor McGregor retires or other people retire like Ronda. It's like you need people to fall back on that, or like your names, your brand, So it's like that's the problem I've seen with the UFC. The only 2 stars I've seen them make, honestly, is like Chuck Liddell and Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey. Rampage Jackson, Vanderlei Silva, they were already stars because of pride.
Yep.
You know, all those guys were stars because of Pride. Those are the only guys they've actually made. And I think like they that's like the big test of the UFC in the future is they can keep making stars. You know, and
What was the first thing that made you an MMA fan?
And I think Ryzen, you know, is a company that's right now, you know, they're in a good market and they're picking up really good talent. And if they work them the right way and give them the good right matchups, they could really have a star-studded roster.
What first made you an MMA fan?
What made me an MMA fan? Well, I watched the pro wrestling growing up as a kid. And then, you know, and then I started wrestling in high school. And then I would, you know, I'd go to wrestling clubs, and at the one wrestling club, there was dudes, you know, fighting in the back or doing some crazy shit that they called NHB, no holds barred fighting. And these guys were headbutting each other and like going bananas, you know. And I was like, oh, I want to get into that. But of course, my mom was like, no, you know, and I just wrestled. But, you know, I was wrestling in college and I just felt like I was limited, you know, like I felt like I was confined in the set rules of amateur wrestling where like you can't lock your hands on the ground. You can't twist a man's arm back. You can't choke a dude. And I'm like, but I could choke you. I could twist your arm backwards. I could knee you in the face right now. I could.
Why do you think, when you say that, why don't you think catch wrestling is more prominent? In like high schools or anywhere?
I think it's getting there. I think it's just got so many names. I think, you know, you got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you got Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, you got no-gi grappling, you got catch wrestling, you got professional wrestling, you got amateur wrestling, you got freestyle wrestling, you got Greco-Roman wrestling. And like, and it depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to achieve that college, you know, scholarship, you're going collegiate style, you know, folk style wrestling. You're going for that, you know, Olympic, Greco and freestyle. You know, if you're going for MMA, then you go into the catch style wrestling. But then, even then, you really don't care if you're on your back. So that's more of a grappling base. Because I consider more catch wrestling based being like you can still get pinned with submissions, you know?
Yes.
While like, and I'll be honest, I don't know how catch wrestling isn't more popular because it's like it's probably would be the most exciting thing to watch because it's like a guy that's literally you basically had to give up your back, which is basically like giving up all these submissions, or you have to, you know, throw your back to the mat, but then you can't get pinned. But I think the pinfall should be like a 3 count, like pro wrestling.
Yeah, I love the King Catch tournaments. I love those. We had a catch wrestling tournament at our local gym. I loved it. It's there are more ways to win. It's more unpredictable.
Well, and exactly, it's more ways to win. It's unpredictable, and it encourages action. While like jiu-jitsu, 2 guys will literally sit down and butt scoot into each other's like 50-50. Or like into each other's like guard, and you're like, did they just butt scoot into each other? Like that. This is like the world championships. They're sitting at each other.
But meanwhile, and then when Brendan Schaub shows up there and shuts down one of the best grapplers in the world by not jumping into his guard, all the people are like, "What? You mean he didn't jump into one of the best grapplers in the world's guard? Oh no, he's terrible. No, he's smart."
It is smart. You know, usually they have rules for the jiu-jitsu guys where like if they butt scoot and you go on top, like you get points because they gave up a position. But if you don't go into their guard, you usually get penalized and can be disqualified. That's usually the tournaments I go into. Those are the rules. So like you still have to be active with the legs and try to pass. You know, but I'll be honest, when I grappled and I was very successful in my short grappling career before I went to the UFC, and when I went against a high level black belt, whatever, I would play outside their guard or all day, you know. It's like unless I'm in side control, why do I want to be near you? Even half guard, they're dangerous. You can get swept. Side control, you're pretty safe as a strong wrestler, you know. Need a belly, good stuff like that, you know.
Before we wind down, interesting rumor in our Rumors Are Flying article. Apparently, WWE producer Kevin Dunn hates Becky Lynch's accent, which will lead to her doing fewer promos. Do you hate her accent?
No, I'll be honest though. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks. I'm not a big fan of either.
Really? Why is that?
You know, they're tiny, like really dyed out hair. Like last time I saw Sasha wrestling, her like wig was flying off, and
Yeah, I don't get the eccentric hair
they look like
colors.
really skinny Barbie dolls that are like doing moves kind of half-ish. And I don't get me wrong, they've had good matches, both of them. But I'm not a big fan. Like, I love Charlotte. I love, Natalie's wrestling. I love Naomi's wrestling, But like I said, Sasha has had good matches, so has Becky. But I'm not a big fan of their thing. I like their style. I like their gear they wear and their gimmicks. But like I don't like their actual appearance.
The WWE does this weird thing where they have all their girls, like nobody can have human being hair. It's kind of weird.
Dude, it's not just the WWE. It's like independent wrestling as well. It's like every girl has to have purple hair or something like that. And I'm just like, you know what's refreshing? Normal hair. Like, you should stand out with your personality, your persona, and your moveset, Like your stuff, not your hair color shouldn't be like, oh, well, that's a statement. I don't make a statement with my hair. I make a statement with like when I slap somebody in the face. You
want to know how Matt Riddle makes a statement?
Yeah, I slam you on your.
Here's how Matt Riddle makes a statement.
Oh, hey. Oh,
look at that haircut.
Dude, that's back in the day. That's like 4 years ago. That's one of the main reasons why I don't have a job at the WWE right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, man. You gotta think about it. Like, I'm like,
sure.
If you watch some of my work, I'm pretty good worker.
Yeah, I know that.
In the UFC, I got some pretty good credentials. It's like, why wouldn't they sign me?
Oh, I mean, your credentials aren't a question.
I think and I've been told that was probably that was the reason. So.
Well, I mean, hopefully that changes. I mean, obviously, we would lose you at Fightful.com, but I mean, we could obviously parlay that into saying.
I talked to Regal a couple weeks ago. I talked to I'm always in touch with the WWE, and they like what I'm doing, and that's and like they always say great things and how like, oh, we'll definitely be working together, and I'm like, hey, maybe, but hey, until I see a contract and I'm getting something, it's never official. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And right now, I'm digging what I do. It's the best. It really is. Like, think about it. I do this podcast every week. I teach jiu-jitsu every week. I wrestle every weekend. It's like I play video games all the time. I got this new virtual reality headset, bro.
I was about to check. I was considering trying one of those out for PS4. How are they?
Oh, dude, it's so sick. It's so sick.
What is it? Like, what? How do you keep from running into shit? Do you move your legs or anything, or is it just headset?
You got to realize I have this whole wrestling mat. So I can just stand in front of it, put it on, and I got a good amount of space. But yeah, dude, you just throw this, hit the button, stretch it open, throw it on, hit the button to turn it on, it lights on, you're right in the game. You look around, you're in the virtual world, bro. Sick.
So
sick.
So where are you this weekend, by the way? Where are you booked? Anywhere?
I am in Rhode Island. I believe it's XWA. And I'm wrestling Mike the Miracle, or maybe it's the Rainmaker Bennett.
Mike the Miracle Bennett?
Yes. I'm wrestling him. So it should be good. I want to, I only have one match this weekend. Even last weekend I wrestled Cody, but like originally I had no matches planned these 2 weeks because I was going to be in China.
Yeah.
So like, I only have one match per weekend. I got a wedding on Sunday, but like, got the one match Saturday with him. So I kind of want to go hard this weekend, maybe, I don't know how the crowd's gonna be, but I really care less. I could care less, and I want to, I just want to go out there and have some fun. So
somebody says, Sean, cut a promo on Matt's opponent. Maybe when we have a little more time, I'll do that. How about that? I'll cut a promo on behalf of Matt on like a future opponent or something. But we got to wind it up, wind it down rather. Tell them where they can follow you, Matt.
Hey guys, you can follow me Twitter. I believe it's Riddle JB7 or Tough 7.
It's Riddle Tough 7.
Riddle Tough 7, dude. I don't look myself up, bro. It's on my apps.
Well, you should, because we are two #verified bros. I love rubbing that in people's face that I got verified.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a problem for people. I was like, yeah, I've been verified for years now. I've been verified since I was in the UFC.
I woke up one day and it happened, and I had a bunch of tweets about it, and I was like, well, that's cool. That's neat.
Yeah, about time, getting that. When did that happen?
A few weeks ago, I think.
Oh, so you're just fresh into the verified world.
Freshly verified, yes.
Wow.
And the perks that come with verification, like only seeing tweets from verified people, that's all new to me. It's all new.
I didn't even know that. You have to be verified to see tweets from verified people?
No, you can filter them to where you only see stuff from verified people. So like if I click over to verified right now, it's like I see stuff from you, from Ryan Satin, from Kat Zingano, Marlus Kunin.
Important people.
Scotty Riggs. Nobody's more important than Scotty Riggs in WCW.
Important people that mean something to the Twitter universe.
Hey, you know what? All of our viewers mean something to me,
They
Matt.
They do. Even if you have multiple fake accounts, you mean something to us.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Guys, I'm not sure. I wouldn't count on there being a Vince Russo show tomorrow. He is dealing with some family issues. Go over to his Twitter. Wish him well. But if not, we will be back Sunday for the post Hell in a Cell show, myself and associate editor Alex Palowski.
We didn't even talk about Hell in a Cell.
That says plenty, doesn't it? You looking? Before we do this, because we're over our hour. What are you looking forward to on the show?
Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I haven't been watching the product. I'm sorry. I've been busy.
The Thursday afternoon broadcast.
Oh, dude, I've been playing video games. I got this Dead by Daylight, Michael Myers downloadable content. Had to get that out there. You can play as Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers. It's sick. Only on Steam.
Oh, shoot.
Alienware, bro. Yeah.
God, you're such a shill.
Come on,
such a shill.
It's good stuff, though. Like, legitimate. I use the product.
Might have to check that out. Guys, until next time, we are out.
Bye.